Going on, everybody? How are y'all doing? Before we get started with this video, let's give it a thumbs up. Let's get it over 400 likes, boy. All right, let's get right to the news. Digital Foundry, they've done some scientific investigating, and they've shared what they believe the specs for the Switch Pro will be, bro. All right, let's check out what they reported, and I'm going to also share my thoughts. First, they're saying that the chip will be an upgraded variant of the Tegra X1, They're saying the X2, NVIDIA is keeping that strictly for automobiles and different devices, but for video games, the Tegra X1, an upgraded version, will be what's in the Switch Pro. And it will be a T214 model of the Tegra X1. And I like the code name. The code name is Mariko. Hey, we got to get to this code name. First, they're saying it's based off of, NVIDIA usually does their code names based off of superheroes. And Mariko is someone in the X-Men series that had like a crush or something on Wolverine. But you know what else makes sense with this? Mariko. Hey, what happens if we take the K out of Mariko? Code name Mari. I'm a genius. Code name Mario. Just drop the K, bruh. It's all making perfect sense. And so, code name Mariko, aka Mario. But let's get to the meat and potatoes of their reporting. It's a lot of technical jargon, but I'm gonna just highlight what they've concluded based on all the information they gathered. First, that the Switch Pro will have both a better battery life and better performance. More power, yet better performance. This reminds me of whenever Apple does their reveals for their new iPhones or iPads. They say, oh, we got a faster chip, and we have even better battery life, or the same battery life as the previous. And so that's the first thing, better performance and better battery life. Also, they're reporting that possibly, this isn't confirmed, but they're saying possibly the Switch Pro could have up to 8 gigabytes of RAM. That is double what the Switch currently has. The Switch only has 4 gigabytes of RAM. I think that'll be pretty dope. I think the PlayStation 4 base model has 8 gigabytes of RAM. For me, I would want the Pro to at least be around the specs of the base PlayStation 4. 1080p, 60 frames per second. Not too much to ask for most games. If we could get that, that would be dope. Also, they're saying that this new chip, this codename Mariko processing chip, what it's going to be centered around, will be more difficult for hackers to hack. And so the Switch Pro would be hack-proof. It ain't nothing hack-proof. It'll just be more difficult. Hackers are going to find a way to crack that code, boy. Also, they're saying that the processor in the upcoming Shield TV is now being supported in the current Switch firmware update. Now, for those of you that don't know, NVIDIA is coming out with a new Shield. Their first NVIDIA Shield was based on the current Switch model. They're saying the Switch that we have now and the latest software update that we have, this software is already supporting whatever the Switch Pro processor will be, because this lets us know a couple things. Regardless of which Switch you get, the Pro, the Mini, or the same Switch that we have now, it's going to run the same games. If the current software update is already preparing us for Switch Pro features, that means it's going to be completely cross compatible no matter what Nintendo system you get. I think that's a great move by Nintendo. That way, dudes who have the current Switch are like, you know what? I don't think it's worth upgrading for a little bit higher resolution, a little bit better frame rates. I'm good with my Switch. You won't feel that burnt because you're going to be playing the same games, boy. Also, like I said earlier, they're ruling out the Tegra X2, and they're saying that based on this model, this architecture, it should improve performance on current games. And so not only will it be for future games coming to the Nintendo Switch, but the current games we have right now, performance will be improved. They said specifically in games that have dynamic resolution. I'm thinking of Doom on the Switch. Based on what's going on the screen, the resolution lowers or increases so that you can have a good frame rate and an overall great gaming experience. With the Switch Pro, maybe the resolution will be a little bit more consistent, around 1080p. Oh, it could be 4K, bro. We don't know what Nintendo's doing. It could be 4K, but it'll improve current games. Now, and they also said it's not going to be a huge generation leap in graphics, and that makes sense. If they do that, it's going to be a division in what games can run on what systems. It's going to be a moderate increase, so you got to have your expectations in check. My expectations are in check. My expectations are low. I don't think 1080p 60 frames per second on most of our third-party games is unrealistic. Come on, bruh. That's not an unrealistic expectation. That's realistic. And so that's what Digital Foundry is reporting based on all the information they gathered. My son is outside at the door, but we have a couple more news items we're going to be discussing before we shut down this video. There is on the market right now a new Nintendo 64 adapter. It's called the Eon Super 64 adapter, and it's being sold for $150. $150 now. This is why you have to be a little cautious with this. You could go and pick this up. It's just an adapter you put in the back of your 64A. This console is lit, bro. One of my favorite Nintendo consoles. I like all my Nintendo consoles except for the Wii. No, I still like the Wii. No, I don't. Yes, I do. It's an adapter you plug into the back, and that way you could run connected to an HDMI TV and play your games with no problems. The catch is it's $150, a little steep. They did say that it does help with some anti-aliasing. It helps smooth out some of the games, but there's no upscaling. It's not going to be a higher resolution. It's going to be the same resolution. The only catch is, what if you buy this? The Nintendo announces a Switch Mini for holiday 2020. But I say this, it'll still probably be worth getting this adapter because the Switch Mini, you'll be limited or confined to a certain amount of games. You only get like 20 games with the Switch Mini, and that's it. With the Switch, with this adapter, you can play every last one of your Nintendo 64 games. So if you have an itch to play your 64 on an HDMI TV, go and check this out. Also, gotta let you guys know, Super Mario Maker 2 did drop. Liking the game so far, so good. Bro, my very first game online was a lag fest. I'm talking 5 frames per second. Horrible, unplayable. But ever since that first match on, All the online matches have been great. And so the online overall, I'm pleased with the game. Patch in where you could play with friends, then the game would be super duper lit. I gave it a hype score of Beast, 4 out of 5 for me. Really liking Super Mario Maker, and it's getting good review scores, great review scores. Last time I checked Metacritic, it was right around 89 or something. It was high on Metacritic. Real good reviews coming in from Mario Maker 2, and it's a dope game. Also, it's being reported that Square Enix is now hiring for a new Dragon Quest game. Bruh, can we first get Dragon Quest 11 on the Switch? Please? Well, it's coming, but they're coming out there. I'm hiring for a new Dragon Quest game. I love the Dragon Quest series. Can't wait to play Dragon Quest 11 on the Switch. Day one buy, easy peasy. And last but not least, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft are joining forces. That's right, you heard it. They're joining forces to battle Donald Trump. They've come out with a joint statement against Trump's taxes against China, which they feel will overall hurt consumers in the U.S. This is a snippet of their joint statement. They're saying, while we appreciate the administration's efforts to protect U.S. intellectual property and preserve U.S. high-tech leadership, the disproportionate harm caused by these tariffs to U.S. consumers and businesses will undermine, not advance these goals, is a part of that letter. What they're pretty much saying is, y'all are going to tax all of the video games that are not coming in from the U.S. Guess what? We're trying to sell y'all a system for $300. But so that we can stay in business, we might have to charge y'all $400 for the Switch Pro. Or the PlayStation 5, Xbox 2 could be in the $500, $600 range, bro. Just so that they can make sure that they remain profitable and it's good business sense. So, give or take, I get it. You're trying to protect U.S. technology, but at the same time, will you end up shooting yourself in the foot? I don't talk politics on my channel. Roly-poly. All right, what do you guys think about everything we talked about in this video? Sound off in the comment section below. I want to know. But before you go, bro, click that subscribe button. Stay up to date. All things Nintendo. We out, boy. I can't believe this dude. Such an idiot. Oh, I'm still live. Oh.